Hi, welcome to PMP Essentials. I am Carol, and as project managers, we know that the most valuable resource we have is time. That is why this course is strictly time boxed. You're listening to Module 1 of a six-part framework. Each class is capped at 20 minutes to deliver maximum value with zero waste. Over these six modules, we will break down exactly what you need to execute and earn your PMP certification. Let's get straight to the baseline. Today I'm going to reveal the most critical misunderstanding about the PMP exam. Look at what's on your screen right now. On the left, you see the PMBOK guide. On the right, you see the echo. And notice the difference in how they are presented. If you're studying right now, you're likely to have the PMBOK guide open. You might be attempting to memorize inputs, tools, and outputs. Just stop, put the book away, and the PMP exam is not a test of the PMBOK guide. The PMBOK is merely a reference manual. The actual blueprint, the document that dictates every single question on the exam, is the ECHO, meaning Exam Content Outline. And for 2026, the ECHO has changed dramatically. In this 20-minute sprint, we will deconstruct exactly what is on the new test. Let's define the scope of the exam content outline. This is critical foundational knowledge. Every few years, the Project Management Institute conducts a global role delineation study. They survey thousands of active project managers to determine what tasks are actually being performed in the field today. The ECHO is the output of that study. It defines the real-world tasks that a competent project manager must execute. PMI then engineers exam questions specifically to validate your competence in those tasks. If a concept cannot be mapped directly to a task in the ECHO, it is out of the scope for the exam. The PMBOK is a reference, but the ECHO is the blueprint. The 2026 ECHO is structured around three performance domains. Within those domains, there are exactly 35 tasks. You are not tested on 49 processes. You are tested on your ability to execute these 35 real-world tasks. The number one is critical. Variance, I see, in candidates is misaligning their study materials with the ECHO. This is your baseline. Everything else builds from here. Memorize this 35 tasks, 3 domains. So let's analyze the domain weightings for 2026. This is critical data as the distribution has shifted significantly. Look at the breakdown on your screen. Domain 1 is people. This accounts for 33% of the exam. This domain tests your ability to manage conflict, lead teams, and apply emotional intelligence. It contains 14 specific tasks. Domain 2 is process. This accounts for 41% of the exam. This is the technical execution, such as managing scope, schedule, budget, and risks. It contains 17 tasks. Domain 3 as business environment. This is the major disruptor for 2026. Look at what's on your screen. Previously, a minor 8% segment. It now represents a massive 26% of your exam. It contains four tasks focused on regulatory compliance, value delivery, and organizational change management. If your study materials predate these shifts, your preparation is misaligned with the current exam baseline. You must allocate your study hours according to these metrics: 32% people, 41% process, and 26% business environment. This is just non-negotiable. We must address now the execution methodology. This is where many candidates fail. The exam consists of 180 questions with a strict time box of 240 minutes. How is the methodology distributed across those questions? Look at your screen. Exactly 50% of the exam tests predictive, plan-driven approaches, traditional waterfall. The remaining 50% test agile and hybrid approaches. This means that for every single one of the 35 tasks in the echo, you must know how to execute it, both in a predictive environment and how to execute it in an agile environment. Look at the example on your screen. Take the task, plan and manage scope. You must demonstrate competence in managing scope via a traditional work breakdown structure, and you must demonstrate competence in managing scope via an agile product backlog. If your preparations is siloed into traditional project management, you will fail 50% of the exam. You must be fluent in both methodologies to pass. This is your execution requirement. Finally, let's review the 2026 assessment formats. Look at what's on your screen. The exam has evolved beyond standard multiple choice questions to test your applied judgment, not your memorization skills. First, you will encounter case study sets. You will analyze a complex scenario and answer multiple questions based on that single data set. Second, graphics-based questions. You will be required to interpret visual data, such as burn-down chart, risk register, or a network diagram, to determine the correct course of action. Third, enhanced matching and hotspots questions. You will interact with the interface to drag elements into frameworks or click specific data points on the chart that indicate variances. And of course, you will still encounter multiple response questions where you must select all that apply. Your preparation strategy must adapt. Rote memorization of flashcards is an inefficient strategy. You must practice interpreting data and making executive decisions in complex, ambiguous scenarios. And here is your preparation baseline. Look at the allocation. You must allocate your study according to the exam weightings: 32% people domain, 41% on the process domain, and 26% business environment domain. Second, you must be bilingual. Every single task must be studied in both predictive and agile contexts. Third, you must practice with scenario-based questions and data interpretation, not flashcards. In the remaining 5 classes of this PMP Essentials course, we will systematically break down every single one of the 35 tasks across the 3 domains. We will start in our next 20-minute time box with a deep dive into the people domain. Before we close the session, here is your immediate action item. Download the PMP 2026 Echo Task Checklist from the description below. This is a structured tool to track your mastery of all 35 tasks. Use it to benchmark your progress against the exam requirements. If you're committed to earning your PMP, subscribe to the channel and enable notifications to ensure you receive the next module. Now let's recap. We established in this module. First, the Echo is your only valid blueprint, not the PMBOK. Second, you have 35 tasks to master across three performance domains. 32% people, 41% process, 26% business environment. Third, you must be fluent in both predictive and agile execution methodologies. Fourth, the 2026 exam tests applied judgment through case studies, graphics interpretation, and interactive formats. This is your baseline. Everything we cover in the remaining 5 modules builds directly from this foundation. Remember, the PMP exam does not test your ability to memorize a manual. It tests your ability to execute as a project manager in the real world. Download the checklist, respect your study schedule, and I will see you in class 2 for the people domain. Thank you for watching. See you in the next class.